Welcome back, and we are getting ready to head into game number 3 of this best of 3 series between the Netherlands and the Czech Republic. The Netherlands, they have already managed to make their way through the group stage. They will be moving on to the playoffs, but the Czech Republic, they are not taking this series any easier for them. I'm still Tetra, and joining me is Kendrick Swish and Bakery.
Yeah, a really cool comeback here in this series by the Czech Republic. We already gave them a lot of credit in game number 1, and they did hear our call, and they made it even better in game number 2.
Yep. Now that they've proved they are actually a really good team, I'm wondering if they're going to say, okay, guys, we did it. We proved we can play the game. Now we're going to have a lot of fun. Or if they're going to continue and keep showing how strong they are.
I think they want to send the Dutch team home with a clean 2-1, so I don't think we're going to see anything too wonky out of them.
Well, you're talking about wonky. What would you like to see from maps?
You know what? I don't mind being around a Braxis.
Braxis?
Haunted Mines.
Towers of Doom. So we do see something a little bit different. This has been a polarizing map this tournament. Picks a lot more than some people may have expected, but it's also been in the ban phase a couple times.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's basically all coming down to whether your team likes to play this map, because it's not everyone's cup of tea, let's face it. There's a lot of macro decisions to be made. Team fighting is important too. Mercenary timing needs to be on point. So maybe some teams just don't want to focus on so many things at the same time.
All right, let's jump into the draft of this third game in our second series of the day. Remember, guys, do not go anywhere because there are still 2 more series after this. And of course, if you want to engage in this series a bit, you can vote for who you think will close it out. If you think the Netherlands will take the third game, you can use the code #NLWin in chat. And if you think the Czech Republic will win, you can use the code #CZWin.
Yeah, isn't it funny how we're actually starting to lean more and more to the Czech Republic here? When we started this broadcast today, I think this game, or I thought this game would probably be over in a couple of minutes.
Whereas the chat, I believe, had it on exactly 50-50. So the chat, once again, showing that they were very on point to begin with.
Can't blame
But they started to lose faith in game number 2, and they were leaning a bit more towards the Netherlands side. Now they've jumped back again, and they're leaning towards the Czech Republic.
And I see the Genji coming in, and already I'm starting to get a little bit worried here. This is a very cool opening. I mean, the Czech Republic is not really known to have an all-star player like other teams have. Tix on Team Finland, for example, or Karsi for Team Hungary. But as a unit up to this point, they were working extremely well. And I started talking about Kenny at the beginning of the broadcast today, and I really want to bring up his Karzim again. He looked really, really solid, hasn't he?
Definitely did, and he's got more potential to look even more solid with a Genji to be supporting. So really excited to see how that plays out. At the same time, we do see ETC picked up again for B-Guy, who I feel might be trying to expand his hero pool.
To a grand total of 3 heroes, as he has played a Nubrak, Muradin, and now ETC. 2 of those have looked a little bit more convincing. Like the Muradin was okay, but not anything top. We already know how insane the Nubrak is. And like we said, that ETC last game was really good.
Yeah, if there's one player we can put the blame on the side of the Dutch team, it is B-Guy. His early game rotations were strong. The disengage on the Muradin every single time, ruining his day with a face melt in a couple of milliseconds was very impressive.
So, Uther and Dahaka. We, of course, know the exceptionally strong Divine Shield Genji, but Bakery. Brightwing and Uther in the draft, but no Rhaegar so far.
It's interesting, isn't it? I think Brightwing was picked up because they wanted to secure global. They knew they didn't want the hacker, so let's pick up the Brightwing. It's a Genji counter. Let's play it solid. Whereas the Czech Republic was saying, let's buff this Genji. Let's commit to that. So Rhaegar fallen by the wayside, but for good reasons.
This time, Chromie hasn't really been picked up yet. She's not too bad of a hero on Towers of Doom. It's a very safe battleground. There's only so many angles she can get flanked from. It's a very tight battleground as well. Slowing stance gets a lot of value, but she's being ignored for now.
There is protection from her / against her on both teams. Brightwing with her Pixie Dust and, of course, Cleanse. Whereas we also see Uther with all of his healing armor and Hand of Protection.
Yeah, and Uther is such an interesting pick because he was nerfed really hard over the last few months, all the way down to only providing 15 armor now with his abilities. And one level 7 talent has suffered a lot, Guardian of the Ancient Kings. We almost never see it. When was the last time you used it, Bakery?
I pick it every game, actually.
Really?
Almost every game I can, I still commit to Guardian of Ancient Kings, but apparently every support player in the Nexus games disagrees with me. I don't think we've seen it, have we?
No.
We have not.
It's Bakery against the world.
Protection. We haven't seen too many Uthers, to be fair, so we don't have the best sample size. We have seen, what was it? It was Tears.
Tears Deliverance.
Tears Deliverance, yeah. So we saw the bonus healing, which we almost never see before we saw the Guardian of the Ancient Kings.
So I want to ask you, Bakery, what is your argument in favor of Guardian of the Ancient Kings?
I think it's just such a strong ability. Imagine a mosh pit, which B-Guy, he's probably going to hit 4 people, let's be honest, at least 3, I would say. Just imagine the amount of value you would get when you cast that W and you give everyone in that mosh pit 50 armor.
So we see here the Netherlands trying to punish that so far solo support Uther, bringing out our first Lunara of the tournament.
Now, what they've seen is they've seen the Dehaka, and that means they need to commit to a solo range Genji or a solo support Uther. So a very intelligent decision and great spot on the side of the Netherlands. Of course, we do need to realize this is buffing Uther even more with the pickup of that Malfurion, because now you have Polymorph, you have ETC Stun, you have ETC Mosh Pit, and of course Malfurion Root, or even Twilight Dream.
Yep, all of which can Uther is very good against Hana Protection and Divine Shield Genji if he goes
Guardian of the Ancient Kings.
And the option of Guardian of the Ancient Kings as well.
All right, so we see a Nubrak coming in, takes a little bit of you know, reduced damage by the Lunara crazy poke with the poison. And on top of that, we add a Chromie. And the Chromie is something we touched upon earlier. Still, it's going to be a solo support Uther against Lunara. And Tetra and I, we cast a lot of HGC China, and it has been a constant back and forth in the region between who gets Uther first, who gets then Lunara next. What would you think is the balance of power here between the two?
See, I think people very often misunderstand why Lunara counters Uther. Lunara counters Uther because of her sustained damage. But in what way does Uther counter Lunara? Lunara is very susceptible to dive, and Uther is the ultimate enabler of dive. Look at the team comp this game. You have a Nubrak, you have Dehaka, you have Genji, and you have Chromie, who can follow all of that up while not being in range of any of the members of the Dutch team. So, I think I give my favor to Uther in this matchup.
Okay.
On a plus side for the Netherlands here, they do also have a lot of methods for dodging a potential temporal loop. We have potential cleanse or even face shield for extra protection, the pixie dust. Lunara can even take a leaping strike, which if timed correctly gives unstoppable frames. So you are able to leap out of that temporal loop if you are quick enough.
All right, and more damage over time is being locked in by the Dutch team. It really looks like they're fully committing to this sustained AoE damage composition here.
Yeah, absolutely. Malthael, a very safe counter dive by diving himself and doing a huge amount of damage to all the melee heroes. But I'm still favoring the Czech Republic's team comp here.
They do. You mentioned the dive potential, and their dive potential is pretty crazy, like you said. If Uther is able to join in, if they're able to get the dive going first, they should be fine. However, the longer fights go on, better Malthael's going to do. Better that Splintered Spear Lunara spread damage, the more issues Uther is going to have with that. So we're going to need to see aggression out of the Czech Republic.
I'm a little bit worried for the Dutch team when it comes to actually closing in on their opponents. Slowing stance is going to cripple almost anyone except for Lunara if she goes for that leaping strike. But look at Brightwing, extremely unmobile. Malthael as well, Malfurion. Those are not necessarily quick, agile, mobile heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing we have to look at here is if the Czech Republic gets set up on a position and they can go in instantly, they definitely have all the playmaking tools for this game.
Final words.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. Let's head into game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. And Kendrick, who is the team on the left-hand side?
It is the team known as the Netherlands, a team that has performed so admirably well in this tournament, but a team that has also shown recent weaknesses. They consist of Dacomicron on that Malthael. We have have Zavalosh on the Brightwing, Atmos is going on Malfurion, B-Guy plays the ETC, and last but not least, we have 6 on that Lunara.
So much slow motion from Team Netherlands, but on the right-hand side, it is the Czech Republic with Deathra on that Krobi, Resmex on the Anubarak, Thray is playing the Dahaka, Kenny is on that Uther, and Zargonis is playing the Genji.
All right, a lot of eyes are watching this battle, this best of 3 in the final game here as well. And as the series continued, our opinions and favorites have changed all the way to the point where we consider the Czech Republic to be the stronger team both in-game and drafting-wise.
They have been so solid throughout this tournament so far. And we also see from the Netherlands, by the way, a very interesting level 1 talent, the Blossom Swell, coming in for that Lunara, as we see Resmex escaping via a Burrow charge.
Yeah, Blossom Swell is indeed an interesting one. We're not really used to seeing it anymore. For the most part, it is natural perspective, providing the utility, the vision, most importantly. However, that Blossom Swell can actually be huge, especially when it comes to locking people down in a narrow choke point. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is first blood for the Czech Republic.
Yep, and this is the consistent theme. Czech Republic dominate the early game every single time. And then sometimes they drop off a little bit in potentially the mid to late game. Let's see if the same thing happens this time, or whether the Netherlands can begin a bit of a snowball themselves.
Now, if the Dutch team once again suffers from a weak early game, Towers of Doom is relatively forgiving. It's not like you get super out-macroed, you lose a keep relatively early on. No, here you can always come back in time.
Good shot, managing to thread the needle between the minions, getting that good drag, but Darkomicron still trades very efficiently. We have not talked about Anubarak, level 1 talent yet. He's gone for the Regen Master.
Yeah, and Regeneration Master is a nice choice here in my opinion. True. I mean, there is a little bit of ability damage available for the Netherlands, but most of it is going to be either percentage damage or auto attacks. And the Regeneration Master really helps you with a higher health pool later on, especially, you know, to sustain longer team fights.
All of the damage is damage over time. Resmex comes with spell armor as default, so instead he's going to try and deal with the damage over time in his own way. Now, we see an interesting play up in the top lane, trying to deny Dahaka for that turn and not able to do so. Here comes Brightwing, but we are seeing the Netherlands in control right now. Brightwing trying to channel that peekaboo, very much helping gain vision, and Zavalosh will probably be able to finish this channel. He does, just in time, as Zargonis dive very deep to try and deny it. They're going to be able to get the kill onto B-Guy, probably. No, good face melt that he's going to get out.
Yeah, that was a massive 4-man root by Atmos on the Malfurion. That was a very nicely timed ability here for sure.
So Anubarak's build is fun to begin with. He's going for maximum regen, and I'm thinking this is a Locust Swarm build, but we will talk about the talent very quickly after Deathra is able to die. Down he goes at 6, getting chased by Beetles, taking a lot of damage, even B-steps the Beetles as Brightwing comes in here. But yeah, we see Anubarak going for, I believe that talent is the Legion. Consistently spawning Beetles.
Yeah, I think it's the Legion of Beetles, which of course causes a Beetle to get summoned every now and then. However, it has a nice twist to it. It can be toggled on and off, and especially later on, if you have more Beetle talents, you could go for the Leeching Scarabs, and that causes every Beetle to heal Anubarak for a tiny little amount of health. And you mentioned the Locust Swarm Tetcher.
Oh, potentially.
I think that could be a possibility here.
He seems to be going for a very sustained build. It's very unlikely you take the Legion of Beetles unless you are against a Li Ming or anyone else with a blockable skill shot, which so far no one on the Netherlands has, or unless you want to take those Leeching Beetles and get that extra sustain.
Yeah, and think of what Bakery said here. Guardian of the Ancient Kings may be a possibility here. So if you go, for example, Bed of Barbs, you provide more slowing for the stuns, etc. So I think this could be a very Beetle-heavy build overall.
So we talked about the Locust Swarm a bit. Here's the argument against it. Malthael Tormented Souls, Mosh Pit, Twilight Dream, the Emerald Wind, Cocoon gains so much value. But the fact is, I just named the entire team except for Lunara. Who do you Cocoon here?
I mean, it's probably going to be Uther. I think Uther is the main enabler of all those heroes like Genji, and they already go for the Genji. Speaking of him, Darkomicron in trouble, is going to get a heal here, coming in with a self-heal of his abilities as well, and that was a very nice gank attempt here by the Netherlands.
Here is that level 7 talent for Anubarak here, and he doesn't go for the leeching beetles here. He instead, the scouts, instead does go for that subterranean shield. Okay. So this is just extra damage numbers for him.
Yeah, a couple more beetles here to intercept shurikens, maybe. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I don't like this now. Now I realize he's not going for beetles, he's just given more things for Malthael to regen off of.
Exactly. That is actually a very good point. So we do not know if it was a misclick or if it was just, you know, a really different approach. There's not really a lot of arguments you can make having more beetles here, especially against Malthael.
Wait, yes there is. Splintered Spear. It's not worth potentially eat shots.
No, it's not worth to sacrifice something like Underking.
But it takes some of the pressure off of Uther. This is one of the biggest concerns we had. It's very much a high-risk, high-reward thing, but taking any extra spear shots that maybe is... The Splinter Spear, I assume it prioritizes heroes.
The thing is also, if you go Underking, which allows you to have a longer range on your bird charge, you can lock down the Nulara. And what is better? Potentially intercepting a Splintered Spear or locking her down, forcing her to retreat.
Splintered Spear just says up to 4 enemies, so we don't know if it prioritizes heroes. If those beetles eat extra shots, they're probably going down. Underking, like you said, could have gained a huge amount of value. I can see the logic behind the pick, but I'm not sure I agree with it because of the aforementioned Malthael stuff.
I think it's straight up
the lack of Underking.
I think it's straight up nonsense, sorry.
That's fair enough, and I'm pretty sure Bakery will agree with you. Like I said, I can see the logic, but liking it is very much potentially against my current system.
All right, in the meantime, we see a little bit of a mercenary battle going on in the bottom lane. Snappers on both sides. B-Guy holding the front line once more. The Dutch team this time around coming in a lot stronger in the early game phase here. They're almost level 10, and then it is time for them to really turn on the heat with that Tormented Soul. Once again, Mosh Pit very likely going to happen. The Twilight Dream. We do have to say this. If their AoE Wombo Schmombo abilities are starting to hit, they're going to annihilate people.
They really could, and they also have we do see on the other side though, Czech Republic, even more lockdown potential. A talent we don't see very often, Constriction. An extra half a second on the drag of Dahaga. This could be key for locking down any of these Wombo-based heroes.
Yeah.
And Lunara, by the way, going for that Thornwood Vine, not really needing the Leaping Strikes because there's no temporal loop. The issue is there's still always the potential of that Anubarak engage, and of course Genji.
Yeah, Anubarak, by the way, not committing to the Beetle build. It looks like he wants to have a little slice of everything here. Subterranean Shield giving him a little bit more protection. In the meantime, we see Genji interrupting Brightwing over and over again. The bottom altar was captured by the Dutch team, though.
So he does go for Cocoon, so not going for that Locust Swarm because he did commit to the Beetle build here as a noob.
Down he goes.
Yes! Almost ranked. Divine Shield's good. The Cocoon goes down as they focus onto Dark Omicron here, but Dark Omicron, it just has so much health. He's draining through Kirby and a noob. He's already killed off Genji up top here, and he will get both of them. 3 kills basically just by Dark Omicron there.
And here's the dilemma of any Anubarak player in a game like this. You see the Malthael, you see the ETC, and you also see a potential Malfurion. Who do you Cocoon? You Cocoon one, the other heroes are going to wreak havoc in your backline.
Exactly. And that could be a serious issue here. And there's the other issue of who do you Divine Shield from Uther? Divine Shielding the Anubarak there just so we could get Cocoon so we could survive, but then it wasn't available for Genji.
Absolutely, and so far the Czech Republic team is struggling. They're taking so much damage all the time. Beautiful power slide by B-Guy. This guy is not fooled that easily. He has perfect timing, good game sense, and he's also body blocking like an absolute champ. I would love to hire him as my personal bodyguard at some point.
As Atmos is able to escape thanks to the player B-Guy, but here's Genji though, and that will probably... Oh, the polymorph. This Netherlands team is playing so well this game. Uther goes down, Respex is now the focus, B-Guy pushing forward. Zargonis is able to escape, but B-Guy will have to retreat just due to the amount of damage he has taken, but still, great play here by the Netherlands.
I don't even know what to say about B-Guy anymore. He was one of the lesser-known players before the Nexus game started. I didn't have him on my radar at all, but I see him performing this ETC over and over again. Before that, we saw him on the Anubarak, and all of a sudden, it wouldn't surprise me to see him pop up in the open division at any given time, because no matter what he does, peeling for the backline, protecting heroes like Lunara or Malfurion, or if it is the other way around, if he wants to engage a fight, he does it all, and in style.
Respects gets a nice knock up, but there is the burrow charge. Here comes Malfael, focusing onto him, but he's got dire load applied to the Anubrak. He's doing so much damage to Fight Shield, again has to be popped.
Yeah, and guess what would have saved him? Under King. Longer range on the E. Good thing he has the Beetles.
Yeah, he would have been able to escape. He does live there, but that's a big cooldown having to be burned for it here. These Beetles, so far, really not working out. The Lunara is not the threat that she would need to be for this to be getting value.
That was a cheeky one, though. Arsmix definitely making sure that he doesn't get caught again. Nice reaction here. But as we can see, level 13 has arrived for the Netherlands, and they're doing a good job at making sure to capitalize on the on the weakness. We're not on the... It's still weekend, you know? It is the weakness of their opponent.
Well, it is the weekend, so they're capitalizing on the weekend play of the Czech Republic as the Anubrak gets absolutely bodied. B-Guy probably stands for bodied at this point due to how much he's doing.
We can call him Body Guy right now. I would definitely support that.
So we see the lane being pushed in. The Sappers are getting sieged by Death Throw, but he can't do enough alone. And all three make it onto the bell tower, which drops to half health. Also a Wisp.
Very nicely done. I definitely do agree on that. So we saw Genji, for the most part, not participating in that fight. That is a huge factor, so we shouldn't really overrate all those skirmishes going in favor of the Netherlands too much, because the moment Genji isn't really participating in a team fight, that means you're not going to have all that burst damage available. We're going to have to wait for him to retake position, and maybe together the Czech Republic can finally start swinging this game around.
In the Czech Republic, they've shown they are dominant in early... Ooh, right wing... Zavalosh.
No, wait.
He's escaping. He polymorphs Genji. Dark Omicron's here. We're seeing Zargonis try to commit, but he can't do it with Dark Omicron there.
Yeah, of course, that is the beauty of having a 2-level lead. All of your heroes are scaled much more. The defensive stats are super high compared to the offensive stats of your opponents. Right, we could also use the Ice Block when it was needed. And, you know, it really shows the individual class of Zavalosh being an absolute expert on the support role.
So far, Bakery's argument is winning, I would argue. So far, I haven't seen too many handed protections I would count as game-changing, whereas some armor might have been very useful. As we see Zavalosh teleports in, he's getting focused, though. The heal from Mouth Twilight Dream! He's taking 4 damage.
Hello!
Just 6 coming from the other side, though. Enough. The burrow charge is not in time. It didn't go far enough. As Kenny is being focused, he gives any armor he can to the Anubrak.
Yeah.
But Anubrak is on his own. He goes down, and Chromie died as well.
And that is almost a clean ace. The only reason why Dehaka didn't die was, well, because he didn't even participate in the first place. But you are definitely on a good point there. He doesn't even get it. That is so dramatic, unfortunately. I think this could even be...
It's going to be all of them.
It's going to be lights out. No, almost lights out.
It's almost lights out.
It's almost.
Yeah.
But the boss is ready.
So, yeah, that's the boss is lethal, yeah. So, Genji, it's up to you, friend, as Genji runs across the map to save his team the game. The chosen one ninja to save the game for the Czech Republic. ETC is zoning. Genji can't get close. That is GG. Emerald win for good measure. And that is GG. And in the most convincing game in this series, the Netherlands take the game and the series and will be moving on to the playoffs.
The Dutch team, without really having to break a big sweat here, they take the series home 2-1 and qualify themselves for the playoffs next weekend. Well done by them. And it is safe to say that at some point it seemed like the Czech Republic was just crumbling. We did mention a couple of weird talent picks here and there. We did say that maybe the Guardian of the Ancient Kings could have had insane value in this game. Big Dragons already. Looking good.
Yeah, Beetles, absolute failure. Not working out as I'm sure they hoped. Got the handed protection, not getting as much as they would probably want. Bakery, what happened that game?
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. I think the Czech Republic probably said, like, guys, we got our one game, you know, like, there wasn't as much fire, there wasn't as much passion. I couldn't feel the energy that I did feel from them before. So a bit of a shame, but still a very respectable performance. And they were going up against one of these stronger teams, definitely in the top 8 that we have in the entire Nexus games.
And can I just quickly say that he's always been good, but I have never felt the need to shout him out. In this one, I absolutely have to. Dark Omicron is a scary Malthael, getting multiple kills almost every fight.
And that is actually my first replay. So as we go into it, we can see. And this is the only replay I have for you guys. Let's make it a good one. Like, Czech Republic, they have to force something. But as you can see, it starts off with Anub taking so much damage. They need to blow the Divine Shield on him. Imagine if Guardian Ancient Kings had 5 armor. Now Genji gets no value. The Mosh Pit is huge. It doesn't get interrupted, but there's so much damage to the team. The team fight is over before it's even started. And it was the Netherlands that started this team fight. So this is where it goes all wrong for the Czech Republic. Look at the top of your screen. You can see Dark Omicron killing both. Wow. The Anub and the Chromie on the mouth, though, showing how scary he is on that hero.
And he killed Genji as well, getting the final hit onto him, which is what put him in that position to be able to hit both heroes right before they tried to retreat.
All right, Bakery, what do you say about B-Guy? Once again, convincing completely on that ETC.
Time and time again, B-Guy performing. The guy's great. He's the most impressive tank so far this tournament, outside of Team Poland, because of course the entirety of Team Poland looked amazing, and Zidune is no exception with that amazing 4-man mosh on Towers of Doom we had earlier today.
Now we find out what the B stands for. It is endorsed by Bakery. That is it for this series though, guys, but we still have 2 more series for you today, and the next one is a doozy, so make sure you are back in time for Russia versus Sweden. See you after the break.